Well, first thing of the day, actually I did this more off of technical stuff. I bought a little bit of UCO. Well, not the first thing. I just bought it. Actually, I should have bought it a little earlier. And this is actually like work if you're gonna really be looking at this stuff a lot. But I did it off of technical stuff more because oil is kind of a very technical market, and besides news driven. But and I guess you could say every market's technical, but I think oil is actually more of a technical market than other markets. It really can't go too high or too low. It's not like a stock. It's something that's consumed by everybody in the world. It's the biggest, most diverse commodity in the world. So I figure it's going to go up a little bit, maybe a couple percent or more, probably up to 112. So, and there's another thing, and that is not that I believe in Cliff High, because I think he's called a number of things that are incorrect. And this is where I get into this stuff about conspiracies, right? It's like I like to keep a balance. In other words, I don't know if Cliff High does have good information or not. I think he worked for I think he was hired as a consultant for some investment banks. I believe that's how it worked. And they were using him for looking at trends, so to help their investment decisions. So, but I imagine there's a lot of people doing that. And if it worked, he'd be loaded. He wouldn't have. I mean, I'm just putting it like this, If I had a racket somehow like that, I'd be loaded. If I knew from pulling up data off the internet, you wouldn't really need a newsletter except as an after fact, like a little side thing, possibly. You would be making your bets accordingly. And if you think the whole world's going to fall apart, you'd be whatever. I mean, you judge exactly when this world's going to fall apart. Get the hell out and get in physical assets or whatever you're going to do. So I don't really buy into a lot of what he says, but I do. I kind of pay attention to it. But I've seen a number of things that weren't accurate. But on March 2nd is one of his calls, and he said that I don't put any faith in his prediction. Though he says that Iran would be attacked, so that's tomorrow, right? We'll find out. We'll find out. So I made a small bet on oil. So I don't. I think it's going up. I'm definitely not basing it on that. I'm basing it on fact that I think it is a fact that it's going to go up some more again. And it might drop or whatever, but like I says, if I get a little bit of a gain, out of there. And maybe I'll hold off till 112 if I think it's going to go up that high. That's my senses say right now, besides technical information. Oil is going to go up a little bit, so I don't know. But I want to put things in perspective about these, so it's not like it's not true that there aren't conspiracies, quote unquote. But damn, there are so many wild, crazy rumors out there that people are getting put astray, and they just need to think with a clear head. What would you do in that situation? Or maybe kind of try to put your mindset in some of the people's heads that are, trying to make some money, basically. Big, powerful people trying to make more money. And they do it at the expense of others. So that's simplistically what it is, without... Because I really do get aggravated at some of these people. I mean, I don't want to knock this stuff too much because it's true, but it's not as true as these people are freaking out about left and right sometimes. And it depends. And then there's the other crowd that thinks it's absolutely not true. There is stuff that goes on by big, powerful people, and they're screwing you over. Okay? But anyway, we're trying to make some money. And I put a little bit on oil. And that was kind of a joke about Cliff High's prediction for tomorrow, because I actually put out a video on that, and it was not really like something I believed in, but I was surprised that a UFO channel picked it up and embedded that video, and it had a decent number of hits. But I'm thinking, damn, it's not what I'm really trying to say, It's like I'm kind of halfway into it. I put things in a reasonable light as far as what human nature has done, and I've read dozens and dozens and dozens of books on Roman history, ancient Roman history. And if you want to know how power works and how people can conclude together, or they can conspire, and opposite groups can come together for their own self-interest temporarily, and all this type of stuff. People get backstabbed. You read Roman history, that'll tell you a hell of a lot about human nature, and you can kind of balance that with what's going on today. That's reality. That's reality. For some people, that's too crazy, but for some of the more conspiratorial people, that's not enough. So, I don't know. The euro, the euro is, it got slammed yesterday, but it's probably going to be okay. Like I said, because of the Greek elections and stuff like that. There also was an article out today about, euro falls to 1 week low after U.S. consumption data. I don't think there's anything major going on, and I think all the commodities are going to start going up due to actual money printing, because the M2 is going up. The M2 is going up, so it's going to cause all real assets, all real hard assets to go up. And silver's kind of, I really hate to say anything about this metal because it is like a metal with a mind of its own. It's going up today. It's going up today. Now, my small leverage bet, I didn't jump in here exactly right, I would have jumped out that same day if it bounced a little bit. I was catching it on a bounce. So I got to get a little higher, maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 cents higher or something to get even, and, then I'm okay. Bought some oil, like I said, repeating that, because who knows, maybe Cliff High's prediction will be correct. I don't know. I don't think so, though. And yesterday, I was remarking about, the Baltic Dry Index. That looks extremely bad. But I'd like to get on first thing whenever this manufacturing index is going to come out. And I used to like listening to, what was his name? Jim from, the what is it? With John Corzine, that Global, MF Global, Jim over there with MF Global. I used to like listening to him because I didn't have to look anything up myself. He would tell you right there, this stat's coming out, and it was kind of cool. I like that, but that guy's not on anymore because MF Global is tanked, it's gone. So I want to see whenever this stat comes out first thing, because say for instance, well, if it goes up, metals you think that's gonna be a good day for metals, maybe, all factors being equal. If it goes down, that might be a time to jump out and short just for that day. I mean, part of it, So I think these are things to watch for, and common sense things. And I want to keep putting out some more videos about these different type of things, because I am kind of technical. Well, let me put it this way: I'm never a trader. I kind of made money on things because I looked at what was going to happen fundamentally, and also what was going on in economic situations, overall, where people might be moving to, where's the hot money going to. I kind of keep it simple. But I think the technicals do work. It's just the problem is you never can tell when it's going to make a turn. Technically, it could just gone up, yes. It could have. If Bernanke didn't speak, this thing probably would have been clearing 38.50 already by this morning. So, and I'm not blaming it on Bernanke, because you got to remember, he's got a mandate to keep inflation down too. I mean, this market is kind of getting overheated here when it's making this stuff. But if you're really quick and you're really slick, you can make money on the way up and money on the way down. There was no secret information. There was no conspiracy. And yes, I think some people kind of knew ahead of time a little bit. I think there was some people that kind of knew what Bernanke was going to say. But, let me put it this way. That game's been going on since, people were in grammar school, in the 4th grade. I mean, hey, shh, it's a secret, don't tell anybody, right? But, you know, so you can assume the same thing goes on in the business world today. Word gets out despite even if it's intended to be kept secret. And I think with margin rate hikes, I think there is a little group up there that knows exactly when it's going to hit. Obviously, something like that I think is extremely unfair because well, it's quite obvious. Like, I mean, I guess you would call that a real conspiracy because there is insiders that know what's going to happen when margin rate increases happen. So you're waiting for all this time for this to go up, and here you could get this inside of an hour, which it took days in the bull market. I mean, this wasn't a margin increase, but you know what I'm talking about. The same type of principle. The way down, you can make a hell of a lot more money, a hell of a lot faster. But it's scary to short silver, so you got to really know what the hell you got to know when it's going to happen. And this was a good one. This was a good one. So, I just want to point out some more things. And, today I did buy a little bit of UCO oil, not much. And I got a little bit in a triple leverage silver. I kind of think oil's going to float up a little while. Things are looking kind of rosy after yesterday's scare and all this kind of garbage. But I don't know anything for sure, so I'm just kind of applying common sense to things, and I think people can make money. People all want to run around like a chicken with their head cut off, panicking about, the world's going to end and everything's going to collapse. That might happen, but quite obviously, it's not going to happen in the next few weeks. Quite obviously, or the next few months, probably too. And as far out as I could see, basically. And, I think there is going to be a big collapse because I got to go by what Jim Rogers and Mark Faber says. There is going to be a big collapse in the future because they're basically fixing problems with money printing. But I don't think it's right away. I don't think it's right away. So I'm going to keep updated on this stuff. And I kind of like doing these videos too because it kind of keeps me a little tuned up, a little more focused. So I'll share the information. And actually, I ain't that stupid, to tell you the truth. I mean, I got a decent common business sense. So but don't listen to every damn thing I say because I don't know. I really don't know. I have no idea sometimes why things come out the way they do.